Hi, I'm Maritza Victor, and this is my ECT308 final project, introducing the Glow Brush Pro, an innovative electric toothbrush designed for a brighter, cleaner smile. In this project, I'll be sharing the development plan for the Glow Brush Pro, focusing on its unique features and functionality. Let's dive into how this idea will transform your daily dental care routine. I designed the Glow Brush Pro, a whitening electric toothbrush with LED lights using Autodesk Inventor. I modeled a clear plastic body, added a glowing green LED effect, and rendered it for a realistic look. What makes it unique? The LED whitening, glow-in-the-dark base, ergonomic handle, and stylish charging base that lights up your counter. Let's dive into how I brought this idea to life. To start, I accessed Autodesk Inventor by opening the software from my desktop. Here's a screenshot showing the interface where I began modeling the Glow Brush Pro. From here, I can start designing, adding parts, and customizing features. I began with freehand sketches to explore shape, ergonomics, and LED light placement. I highlighted the charger base, handle grip, and light zones. This sketch was the foundation for my 3D modeling in Inventor. To create the charging base, I started by sketching a stable, rounded shape. I extruded the base, added a recessed slot for the handle, and filleted the edges for a smooth finish. I also included a rear port for the charging cable and applied a green LED appearance to simulate the glow. The final render brings the base to life, complementing the toothbrush while lighting up the counter. Here's a screenshot of the 2D sketch of the bottom profile of the charging base. Using Autodesk Inventor's dimensioning features, I accurately defined the size and shape of the base, ensuring stability and proper fit for the handle. This sketch is a key step in building the 3D model. Next, I used the emboss feature to add my name to the charging base. First, I created a 2D text sketch of my name on the surface of the base. Then, I used the emboss tool in Autodesk Inventor to raise the text, making it visible on the part. As you can see in the screenshot, my name is now embossed on the charging base, adding a personal touch to the design. Toothbrush handle. For the toothbrush handle, I designed an ergonomic shape that's compatible with the charging base. It includes a bottom hole to fit the base, a top hole for attaching the toothbrush head, and a control panel with a button. Using Autodesk Inventor, I applied commands like sketching with ellipse, circle, line, and arc, modeling with extrude, loft, fillet, and hole, and work features to create planes for precise design. I began with a 2D profile and used the loft and revolve tools to create the ergonomic shape. Then I hollowed out the body to house the battery, wires, and LED components. I created a side cut for the power button, aligning it for easy thumb reach. I applied a clear plastic material to showcase the internal features and added a green LED glow to match the brand. Finally, I rendered the model to visualize the transparency and lighting effects. Once I finished creating the toothbrush handle, I captured a screenshot of the basic 3D shape to showcase the initial design before moving on to refining the details. Next, I added my name to the 3D part. Using the emboss feature in Autodesk Inventor, I created a 2D text sketch of my name on the surface, then raised it to make it visible. Here's a screenshot showing my name on the toothbrush handle. To design the ridged head, I began by creating a new part file and setting up the initial sketch on the XZ plane. I sketched a bottom profile with a centered circle, then used an offset work plane to define the bottom section. I applied the loft command to form the solid body and used extrusions to develop the shaft and brush section. Details like the handle connection extrusion and bristle attachment hole were added, along with fillets to smooth the edges and enhance the design. I started a new part file, selected metric units, and created a 2D sketch on the XY plane. Using the line and arc tools, I outlined the side profile, applied dimensions, and fully constrained the sketch. I then used the revolve tool to form the head shape. I added neck details, created new planes for tapering, and smoothed the edges with fillets for a sleek design. Now that I've followed the steps to create the ridged toothbrush head, here's the detailed 3D design. The process included starting a new part file, sketching the profile on the XY plane, revolving the sketch, adding neck details, and smoothing the edges with fillets. This design is ready for the next steps, like adding personalization with my name. I added my name to the 3D part using the visibility feature. By creating a 2D text sketch of my name, I made it visible on the part. Now you can see my name, Victor, clearly displayed on the ridged toothbrush head. I always start by selecting the project file for the project, especially when working on different parts of the same product. In this case, I selected the same file to keep everything organized and consistent. Now that I've designed the basic 3D shape of the mobile toothbrush head without bristles, I followed these steps. I started by selecting the project file, sketched the head profile, and used extrusion to form the shape. After that, I shaped the head to accommodate the bristles. With the basic shape complete, I can now move on to creating the bristles. Here's the detailed 3D design of the toothbrush head with bristles. I selected a dome-like surface for bristle placement, patterned soft-tapered cylinders, and added translucent material to emit LED light. The bristles were positioned for ergonomic cleaning, and I checked the spacing for real-world use. Now, using the emboss feature, I added my name, Maritza, to the 3D part. I created a text sketch of my name and applied the emboss tool to make it visible on the surface of the toothbrush head. After creating the different parts of the electric toothbrush, it's time to put them together. I assembled the base, handle, and ridged rotating head using Autodesk Inventor's assembly environment to form the complete product. Now take a look at the Place Component window. It shows that all the parts are correctly associated with the proper project file. This ensures that each component is linked and ready for the assembly process, keeping everything organized and connected in Autodesk Inventor. In Autodesk Inventor, I'm making sure the handle is properly placed on the charging base. To achieve this, I'm using the Mate feature, which allows me to align the surfaces of the handle with the charging base. By selecting the appropriate faces and applying mates, I ensure the parts are properly positioned and constrained. A few simple clicks, and the parts are precisely aligned and ready for the next step in the assembly process, ensuring everything fits seamlessly. I placed the toothbrush head onto the handle using precise constraints in Inventor. By carefully adjusting the fit tolerances, I ensured that the connection is just right, not too loose or too tight. This attention to detail is crucial for real-world usability, providing both functionality and safety in the final product. I imported each part into the assembly space and applied precise constraints to align the components. After positioning them for realistic motion and ensuring everything fits as it should, I used Inventor Studio to render and animate the final design. This step gave me a clear, visual representation of how the assembled product will function in real life. I tested the charging base on Beamler.com to check 3D print eligibility. It passed with a quote of 2029 and a 10-day lead time. This confirms my design is ready for real-world production, one step closer to bringing GlowBrush Pro to life. The GlowBrush Pro features a sleek, intuitive button layout. One button powers the brush on and off, controls speed modes for customized brushing intensity, and also activates the LED glow. This design combines aesthetics with functional feedback, enhancing both whitening and cleanliness with ease. From a glowing toothbrush sketch to a market-ready prototype, the GlowBrush Pro story began with a vision of combining style, tech, and functionality. I designed an ergonomic, transparent body, rotating head, and integrated LEDs. Using Autodesk Inventor, I modeled and animated each feature, ensuring it met real-world safety and manufacturing standards. The result? The GlowBrush Pro, ready for the market. Meet the GlowBrush Pro, where health, beauty, and tech unite. From sketch to prototype, I designed it all with CAD modeling, branding, and real-world problem solving. Watch From Sketch to Shelf on YouTube to see the full design journey, explore the features of GlowBrush Pro, and witness my skills as a future-ready innovator. This is ideal for employers, mentors, collaborators, and stakeholders. Thanks for watching. Let's bring GlowBrush Pro to life. This project taught me how to turn ideas into reality using 3D CAD modeling and Autodesk Inventor. I harnessed design thinking, brought my prototypes to life, and even used animation to pitch my concept. Along the way, I gained essential skills in manufacturing, project management, and cross-functional communication. Now, I'm primed and ready to take on roles in smart tech, medical devices, and consumer product design. The GlowBrush Pro project not only showcased my creativity and technical expertise, but it also proved that I'm ready to lead the way in innovation.